Okay, it's day 119. This is part 5, and I just wanted to comment about the whole cycle and open source journalism and the turnaround cycle. And from the very beginning, I've said I am a dyslexic stenographer in this process. And I just read the comments. I take the best 3. I run with the best 3 or the 2 or the 1, whatever I have time. Try to do a couple of inventory turns during the day, 3, 4, to try to get something, to get somewhere. So a lot of people have compared it to this uranium thing that we're covering. It's like, hey, you know, you're getting that ore out of the ground. We got to do that Kroupnik crushing. We got to, you know, hit it with the acid bath. We got to get it to yellow cake. You know, it's just a lot of work. You know, all these Google searches and these Google compound searches, and then we got to figure out, you know, we got to either bribe a Russian official like Katsev to get free transportation of the rock to our crushers, you know, or what? You know, this is a lot of work. And then we got to go to Paducah, or we got to have a secret facility in Eunice where we divert everything to after we put everybody out of work in the Midwest. We got to shut down the plants. We got to get some free centrifuges out of Piketown, Ohio. This is work. This is hard. This whole process of culling and spinning and to get that little bit of 235, to get HEU, to get those real insights, those nuggets. This is very much like Bob highly enriched uranium. I can see why Bob highly enriched uranium would have stolen the HEU. Why, when it was coming into Lynchburg, he would have said, wait a minute. You know how hard it is to come up with this HEU? Have you ever been through this process and seen how hard it is? Let's keep that HEU. We'll backfill. We'll divert. We'll backfill with LEU. Well, it's good to go through a process that's so difficult to appreciate why and the motivations for the conspirators to actually steal the HEU and do all these diversions and things that we're uncovering. So I know it's difficult, but you don't have a choice. It's either you got the stuff that's happened over the last 24 hours, or you have a democracy, a freedom, and openness where people take questions, take oversight, produce the documents, agree to 3 branches of government, and we move forward. And if we don't do that digging, if we don't do that Kroupnik crushing, if we don't do that acid bath with our sodium hypochlorite, you know, to get it down to yellow cake, if we don't do that and spin it every day, all the time. Remember those centrifuges or gas diffusion, if you go Silex, you want it like some inside money, I got a couple of Mellon Optima funds out in the Caymans I can get to you with Bob highly enriched Mueller. But I'm saying if we don't do that, we don't get the HEU, and you're not going to fight this battle without HEU. You're not going to fight this battle without those nuggets that we can present in court, that we can ask for in discovery. Now, interestingly enough, now that I mentioned the Caymans, ICIJ, International Consortium, a consortium of international journalists, ICIJ, who I always thought was kind of a front, but anyway, they released a whole bunch of new documents, like 10,000 new entities and like maybe 10,000 or 200,000 communications. There's only 1 or 2 or 3 that I'm interested in. Paradise Papers, if you might remember the Panama Papers, and then there was a Paradise Papers before that. Sechin. Those are the first 3 people I want to look for, and then Carter Page. And they wouldn't have released them unless it would have somehow been leading toward Carter Page and Sechin. So I think if you're going to search those, ICIJ.org, Sechin, S-E-C-H-I-N, it's going to be the interesting search. So I'm sorry this takes a lot of effort. I'm sorry this takes a lot of Kroupnik crushing. I'm sorry this takes a lot of Mark Lambert transportation. And wouldn't it be great if we had Katsev to bribe? Rayo? Are you okay, Rayo? Every time I hear sirens, I think of Rayo. So anyway, I'll be responding to all the, maybe it's more than Rayo. It sounds like a bigger, Rayo? Anyway, Omar? Maybe Rayo and Omar, who knows? Anyway, we're going to be responding to Podesta and so forth. I put out an org chart, my first video of the day, that talks about the org chart of the de facto DNC. Immediately people did the character replacement and said, oh, defango, de facto, defango. This is really, defango was the de facto DNC. The thing you described, the org chart you described was defango, de facto. No, I don't think so. Well, maybe so. I don't know. Who knows? But the key is that it was a de facto organization. It was all one thing. And that's the key to my defense, or excuse me, the key to my complaint is, Your Honor, this is a RICO conspiracy. You need to look at this as one thing. So if you haven't seen that, it's a good read or a good watch or whatever you call that. Believe me, I look at all the comments. I look for the best three. Sometimes I don't get to all the comments, but we just have to stick with it. It's Kroupnik crushing. If Mark Lambert didn't have his Kroupniks crushed by Roman Kroupnik, he might not have got the HEU that Bob highly enriched uranium wanted either. So if Mark Lambert's willing to do the Kroupnik crushing, we have to be willing to do the Kroupnik crushing.